Hello, hello. Hope everybody's good. I was looking to talk about the Matrix and talk about, the things of the Matrix, uh, internal and external. So, uh, it's not anything that is. It's deep. It's deep. I can't say that it's not deep. One of the things that really get me is the amount of, I don't know what you would say, the vastness of God. Every time we try to put a handle and we try to understand who God is, he keeps getting deeper. Keeps getting deeper. The universe and God's wisdom is outstanding. I try to express that to people at one point, and they couldn't understand, and I don't blame them, because it's there's so many big things you have to know, and then once you know those things, there's more stuff, and then you find out more creative ways that God does what he does in order to gain deeper wisdom. So kind of like it's different in America than it is, or it's different in the United States than it is in Mexico, or it's different in Mexico than it is in China or Japan, and it's different there than it is in Africa. And certain places in Africa, like, they're all updated places. I don't think that these places don't have, stuff. They do. But the relationships between people, the way that they deal with each other is different. So to understand that is the same as understanding how God does what he does, because there's always more to know that will flip your wig. Let's say dolphins communicate different than humans, but we still have some same way of dealing with each other, the same way as dogs or something like that, that they are arranged differently. Cows have 7 different stomachs. They're different, all right, but there are certain things that are similar. So the same with that. So those are two major classes that are different. When you start realizing the vastness of of the way he understands things, the way that I'm not even going to say the way that he understands it, because it's so deep. I can't even say the way that he does what he does. I just know that he had shown me something outside of the aspect of being able to see things totally different from God. You basically would be able to see something as much as I guess you can go into it as a rearrangement of wisdom. I spoke about time being something that could be rearranged. We're used to the third dimension being, you have this axis, and the up and down axis, and the fourth dimension would be time, right? Well, what if you could take time and pull it inside and move some of the other dimensions as far as the right and left, or let's say we keep the right and left, but the up and down is different. All right, the up and down is a different thing that ellipses time. So if time was on the inside, you could go like this and come back and interject in time differently. And understanding that is basically the type of deal of understanding and wisdom that comes from the spirit that human beings couldn't even really understand. Like, you can't understand it, but there's a lot of stuff you have to understand before you can understand that. And yeah, we talk about fourth dimension and stuff like that, but this is different. This is a rearranging of the four dimensions. So anyway, the wisdom and understanding is that there is a place that coincides with a certain time. Just like there's a place for everything, and everything there's a place within a time. If you invert that, that means that there is a space for something within every moment of time. So like that in itself is the type of wisdom I'm speaking of. So when it comes to inside of yourself, how it correlates to time, and not just time, but other things outside of yourself. So you start opening up areas within yourself, as far as relationships or stigmas that you may have about a person or a certain thing. That a stigma could be a good thing. You could think that every guy that wears a chain, and one stigma, it means one thing. To someone else it might mean something different, but honestly, a chain is just a chain. And it doesn't really have any true bearing on the person on the inside. Now, you would question, well, what we have on the inside is what you would see on the outside. So this is your logical thinking would be that the expression of what you're wearing means that this is who you are on the inside. And somewhat that is true, but it doesn't dictate deeper levels of the type of person you are. So if I was to take the chain off and put a suit on, would that not display a different personality trait of who I am? I'm displaying something different, right? Which makes sense. You can put on these clothes and feel this way and act this way, and put on those clothes and feel that way and act that way. But both of those things are within you. So if that is true, then you can't dictate off of just what you see. Because that means that there's more that may directly seem to be in direct conflict, but it's not. It's just another area, another position of a different idea or ideal construct or thought process that displays that level of expression, right? That's what that would be. So like, I don't know, it blows my mind. I was hoping to get some people on the live. There was somebody who came in and then left back out. My channel is up and down, okay? But I hope that soon it will start to open up and people gain this wisdom, and I'll leave it as that. I really want people to know this type of information. It's a give and take, and speaking of that, there's some things that I don't like, about being around a lot of people, and then there's things I do like. And just like what we said, it may seem like it clashes, but there's a time and place for everything. So, and both of them want to incorporate the same time. And that's why we have choices to the right or to the left. to do this now and to do that later. So, so all can be experienced as much as possible. It is the way of God. So, and just the depth of His wisdom. Some people say source, you know. Well, it's the depth of source. Think of that being expressing itself. And it is what it is. And there's just more and more ways to express His depth. It's endless. It really is. So, I don't know. I wish everybody the best. Please check out the frequencies, especially the 108 and 432. It actually strikes certain parts of the brain and hits because they are perfect 11th. Perfect 11th is also known to destroy cancer and other diseases at a higher frequency. But this actually will open your mind on the it actually correlates with the sacral chakra, and the sacral chakra is the frequency of which unifies our universe. So our universe is an expression of the sacral in God. In some way it is. You wonder why, creativity and sexual things have such a strong hold on people versus some of the intellectual things. Intellectuals in some way are living in a dimension, not that, but a thought process living on certain frequencies that actually belong somewhere else. That's not a big thing right here. It doesn't mean that it can't exist here. It just means that people have to understand that the further away from the sacral or sacral chakra and the things that are correlated with that, the further away you are, the less desirable a person can be. Speaking on the solar plexus is something that has to do with control, has something to do with joy. It's close to the sacral. So those things are expressed and accepted easier than someone who is just love and loving. Even though we want to accept love, when you first meet somebody and they come off that way, we stand back. Now, if you see someone who is kind of controlling or joyful, or in their presentation, we would relate to that person quicker. The other thing is kind of like, oh, you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your heart, you want to be away from it. But the understanding of that relationship, that is wisdom that is correlated in a different way. And its truth is there. That's just the way things are. So, and it keeps growing all the way into the spiritual side. And I appreciate that the world has gotten more spiritual and has awakened. So that means that these other chakras can be noticed for what they are more readily. All right, y'all hold it down. All right.